Betty Marion White was an American actress and comedian. A pioneer of early television, with a television career spanning almost 7 decades, White was noted for her vast work in the entertainment industry and being one of the first women to work both in front of and behind the camera. She was the first woman to produce a sitcom, Life with Elizabeth. After making the transition from radio to television, White became a staple panelist of American game shows, including Password, Match Game, Tattletales, To Tell the Truth, The Hollywood Squares, and the $25,000 Pyramid. Dubbed the First Lady of Game Shows, White became the first woman to receive the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host for the show Just Men. In 1983. She was also known for her appearances on The Bold and the Beautiful, Boston Legal, and The Carol Burnett Show. Her biggest roles include Sue Ann Nivens on the CBS sitcom The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Rose Nylund on the NBC sitcom The Golden Girls, and Elka Ostrovsky on the TV Land sitcom Hot in Cleveland. She gained a renewed career resurgence with her role in the romantic comedy film The Proposal. She then hosted Saturday Night Live in 2010, garnering her a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series. She was the subject of the 2018 documentary, Betty White, First Lady of Television, which detailed her life and career. White earned a Guinness World Record for longest TV career by an entertainer in 2014 and in 2018 for her lengthy work in radio, television, and film. White received various awards including 5 Primetime Emmy Awards, 2 Daytime Emmy Awards, and a Regional Emmy Award, as well as 3 American Comedy Awards, 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and a Grammy Award. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and was a 1995 Television Hall of Fame inductee. Early life. Betty Marion White was born in Oak Park, Illinois, on January 17, 1922. She stated that Betty was her legal name and not a shortened version of Elizabeth. She was the only child of Christine Tess, a homemaker, and Horace Logan White, a lighting company executive from Michigan. Her paternal grandfather was Danish and her maternal grandfather was Greek, with her other roots being English and Welsh. White's family moved to Alhambra, California in 1923 when she was a little over a year old, and later to Los Angeles during the Great Depression. To make extra money, her father built crystal radios and sold them wherever he could. Since it was the height of the Depression, and hardly anyone had a sizable income, he would exchange the radios for other goods, including dogs on some occasions. White attended Horace Mann Elementary School in Beverly Hills and Beverly Hills High School, graduating in 1939. Her interest in wildlife was sparked by family vacations to the Sierra Nevada. She initially aspired to a career as a forest ranger, but was unable to accomplish this because women were not allowed to serve as rangers at that time. Instead, White pursued an interest in writing. She wrote and played the lead in a graduation play at Horace Mann School, and discovered her interest in performing. Inspired by her idols Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy, she decided to pursue a career as an actress. 1 month after her high school graduation, she and a classmate sang songs from The Merry Widow on an experimental television show, as the medium of television itself was still in development. White found work modeling, and her first professional acting job was at the Bliss Hayden Little Theater. After the United States entered World War II in 1941, White volunteered for the American Women's Voluntary Services. Her assignment included driving a PX truck with military supplies to the Hollywood Hills. She also participated in events for troops before they were deployed overseas. Commenting on her wartime service, White said, "It was a strange time and out of balance with everything." Career. 1949–1953, radio work, early television, and bandy productions. After the war, White made the rounds to movie studios looking for work, but was turned down because she was not photogenic. She started to look for radio jobs, where being photogenic did not matter. Her first radio jobs included reading commercials and playing bit parts, and sometimes even doing crowd noises. She made about $5 a show. She would do just about anything, like singing on a show for no pay. She appeared on shows such as Blondie, The Great Gildersleeve, and This Is Your FBI. She was then offered her own radio show, called The Betty White Show. In 1949, she began appearing as CO host with Al Jarvis on his daily live television variety show Hollywood on Television, originally called Make Believe Ballroom, on KFWB and then on KLAC-TV in Los Angeles. White began hosting the show by herself in 1952 after Jarvis's departure, spanning 5.5 hours of live ad-lib television 6 days per week, over a continuous 4-year span. In all of her various variety series over the years, White would sing at least a couple of songs during each broadcast. In 1951, she was nominated for her first Emmy Award as Best Actress on Television, competing with Judith Anderson, Helen Hayes, and Imogene Coca. The award went to Gertrude Berg. At this point, the award was for body of work, with no shows named in nominations. In 1952, the same year that she began hosting Hollywood on Television, White CO founded Bandy Productions with writer George Tibbles and Don Fedderson, a producer. The trio worked to create new shows using existing characters from sketches shown on Hollywood on Television. White, Fedderson, and Tibbles created the television comedy Life with Elizabeth, with White portraying the title character. The show was originally a live production on KLAC-TV in 1951, and won White a Los Angeles Emmy Award in 1952. Life with Elizabeth was nationally syndicated from 1953 to 1955, allowing White to become one of the few women in television with full creative control in front of and behind the camera. The show was unusual for a sitcom in the 1950s because it was CO-produced and owned by a 28-year-old woman who still lived with her parents. White said they did not worry about relevance in those days, and that usually the incidents were based on real-life situations that happened to her, the actor who played Alvin, and the writer. White also performed in television advertisements seen on live television in Los Angeles, including a rendition of the Dr. Ross dog food advertisement at KTLA during the 1950s. She guest-starred on The Millionaire in the 1956 episode The Virginia Leonard Story, as the owner of a small-town diner who received an anonymous gift of $1 million. 1952–1959, I The Betty White Show / and I Date with the Angels / I. None. 1960s, First Lady of Game Shows, I Password / I and I Advise and Consent / I. None. 1970s, I The Mary Tyler Moore Show / I and I The Betty White Show / I. None. 1980s, I Mama's Family / I and I The Golden Girls / I. None. 1990–2009, guest roles and return to the big screen in I The Proposal / I. None. 2010–2021, career resurgence, I Saturday Night Live / I and I Hot in Cleveland / I. None. I Betty White, A Celebration / I. None. Achievements and honors. White won 5 Primetime Emmy Awards, 2 Daytime Emmy Awards, and received a Los Angeles Emmy Award in 1952. White was the only woman to have received an Emmy in all performing comedic categories, and also holds the record for longest span between Emmy nominations for performances. Her first was in 1951 and her last was in 2014, a span of over 60 years. In 2015, she received the Lifetime Achievement Daytime Emmy. She also won 3 American Comedy Awards, and 2 Viewers for Quality Television Awards. She was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 1995 and has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at Hollywood Boulevard alongside the star of her late husband Alan Ludden. In 2009, White received the TCA Career Achievement Award from the Television Critics Association. In 1955 she was named the Honorary Mayor of Hollywood. White was the recipient of the Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters Golden Ike Award and the Jeannie I Award from the Alliance for Women in Media in 1976. The American Comedy Awards awarded her the award for Funniest Female in 1987, as well as the list of Lifetime Achievement Awards in 1990. The American Veterinary Medical Association awarded White with its Humane Award in 1987 for her charitable work with animals. The city of Los Angeles further honored her for her philanthropic work with animals in 2006 with a bronze commemorative plaque near the gorilla exhibit at the Los Angeles Zoo. The city of Los Angeles named her ambassador to the animals at the dedication ceremony. In September 2009, the Screen Actors Guild announced plans to honor White with the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award at the 16th Screen Actors Guild Awards. Actress Sandra Bullock presented White with the award on January 23, 2010, at the ceremony, which took place at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. She was a Kentucky colonel. In 2009, White and her Golden Girls castmates Bea Arthur, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty were awarded Disney Legends Awards. White was inducted into the California Hall of Fame in December 2010. In 2010, she was chosen as the Associated Press's Entertainer of the Year. On November 9, 2010, the USDA Forest Service, along with Smokey Bear, made White an honorary forest ranger, fulfilling her lifelong dream. White said in previous interviews that she wanted to be a forest ranger as a little girl but that women were not allowed to do that then. When White received the honor, more than one-third of Forest Service employees were women. In January 2011, White received a SAG Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Comedy Series for her role as Elka Ostrovsky in Hot in Cleveland. The show itself was also nominated for an award as Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series, but lost to the cast of Modern Family. She won the same award again in 2012, and later received a third nomination. In October 2011, White was awarded an honorary degree in White Doctor's Coat by Washington State University at the Washington State Veterinary Medical Association's Centennial Gala in Yakima, Washington. A 2011 poll conducted by Reuters and Ipsos revealed that White was considered the most popular and most trusted celebrity among Americans, beating the likes of Denzel Washington, Sandra Bullock, and Tom Hanks. In 2017. After 70 years in the industry, White was invited to become a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. At age 95, this made her the oldest new member at the time. Personal life. While volunteering with the American Women's Voluntary Services, White met her first husband Dick Barker, a United States Army Air Force's P-38 pilot. After the war, the couple married and moved to Bell Center, Ohio, where Barker owned a chicken farm. He wanted to embrace a simpler life, but White did not enjoy this. They returned to Los Angeles and divorced within a year. In 1947, she married Lane Allen, a Hollywood talent agent. They divorced in 1949 because he wanted a family but she wanted a career rather than children. On June 14, 1963, White married television host and personality Alan Ludden, whom she had met on his game show Password as a celebrity guest in 1961. And her legal name was changed to Betty White Ludden. He proposed to White at least twice before she accepted. The couple appeared together in an episode of The Odd Couple featuring Felix's and Oscar's appearance on Password. Among the couple's high-profile friends was writer John Steinbeck. In her 2011 book If You Ask Me, White writes about her friendship with the author. Ludden had attended the same school as Steinbeck's wife Elaine Anderson Steinbeck. Steinbeck gave an early draft of his Nobel Prize in Literature acceptance speech to Ludden for his birthday. The couple also had a close and lifelong friendship with blind musician and motivational speaker Tom Sullivan. They met in 1968 while Sullivan was singing in a small club, and White and Ludden were performing in a play on Cape Cod. White and Sullivan co-wrote a book, Leading Lady, about Sullivan's first seeing eye dog, who lived with White after being retired. While White and Ludden had no children together, she was stepmother to his 3 children with Margaret McGloin Ludden, who died of cancer in 1961. Alan Ludden died from stomach cancer on June 9, 1981, in Los Angeles. White never remarried. When asked the reason for this in an interview with Larry King, White responded by saying, "Once you've had the best, who needs the rest?" When asked by James Lipton on Inside the Actors Studio in 2010 that should heaven exist, what would she like God to say to her when she walked through the pearly gates, White replied, "Come on in, Betty." Here's Alan. White attended the Unity Church, part of the New Thought movement. Death. On the morning of December 31, 2021, White died in her sleep at her home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles from a stroke she had on Christmas Day. She was 99. Her remains were cremated and given to Glenn Kaplan, who was entrusted with carrying out her advanced health care directive. White's death was met with statements of sympathy and tribute from many people and organizations. The United States Army released a statement, as White had volunteered with the American Women's Voluntary Services during World War II. Additionally, the Martin Luther King Jr. Center tweeted their condolences and praised White for her early support of racial equality. There were additional tributes from numerous media organizations, celebrities, political commentators, sports teams, musicians, politicians, and other public figures. White's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was flooded with flowers and tributes within hours of the announcement of her death. White's 2 homes in Carmel and Los Angeles were sold in April and June 2022 respectively, with her personal belongings sold at auction in September. Her estate donated a substantial portion of television ephemera to the National Comedy Center in September 2022, including wardrobe pieces, annotated notes, and 5 of her Emmy Awards. Causes and advocacy. Animal welfare. White was a pet enthusiast and animal welfare advocate, who worked with organizations including the Los Angeles Zoo Commission, the Morris Animal Foundation, African Wildlife Foundation, and Actors and Others for Animals. Her interest in animal welfare began in the early 1970s while she was producing and hosting the syndicated series The Pet Set, which spotlighted celebrities and their pets. As of 2009, White was the president emerita of the Morris Animal Foundation, where she served as a trustee of the organization beginning in 1971. She was a member of the board of directors of the Greater Los Angeles Zoo Association since 1974. Additionally, White served the association as a zoo commissioner for 8 years. According to the Los Angeles Zoo and Botanical Gardens Zooscape member newsletter, White hosted History on Film from 2000 to 2002. White donated nearly $100,000 to the zoo in the month of April 2008 alone. White served as a judge at the 2011 American Humane Hero Dog Awards ceremony. White served as a judge alongside Whoopi Goldberg and Wendy Diamond for the American Humane's Hero Dog Awards on the Hallmark Channel on November 8, 2011. Opposing racial injustice. In 1954, as the Betty White Show became national across the United States, White was criticized by many in the southern states for having Arthur Duncan, a black tap dancer, on her variety show and was asked to remove him. In the 2018 documentary Betty White, First Lady of Television, White recalled threats to take the show off air if we didn't get rid of Arthur, because he was black. She refused, saying he stays, live with it. In 2017, 63 years after the show was cancelled, Duncan appeared as a surprise guest on the series premiere of the reality talent series Little Big Shots, Forever Young, where he performed and reunited with White, later thanking her again for her support. LGBT rights. A supporter and advocate of LGBT rights, White said that if a couple has been together all that time and there are gay relationships that are more solid than some heterosexual ones, I think it's fine if they want to get married. I don't know how people can get so anti-something. Mind your own business, take care of your affairs, and don't worry about other people so much. In a 2011 interview, White said that she always knew her close friend Liberace was gay and that she sometimes accompanied him to premieres. Discography. In September 2011, White teamed up with English singer Luciana to produce a remix of her song I'm Still Hot. The song was released digitally on September 22 and the video later premiered on October 6. It was made for a campaign for a life settlement company, the Lifeline program, and it is her only commercial single to date, peaking at number 1 on the Dance Club Songs chart. White has also covered songs on her live television shows, such as Nevertheless I'm in Love with You, It's a Good Day, Getting to Know You and I Know That Sounds Like Yes. Filmography. Bibliography. White published several books. In August 2010, she entered a deal with G.P. Putnam Sons to produce 2 more books, the first of which, If You Ask Me, was released in 2011. In February 2012, White received her first Grammy Award for the audio recording of the book. Books. Betty White's Pet Love, How Pets Take Care of Us. W. Morrow. 1983. Betty White in Person. Doubleday. 1987. The Leading Lady, Dinah's Story. Bantam Books. 1991. ISBN 9780385421683. Here We Go Again, My Life in Television. Scribner. 1995. ISBN 9780684800424. Together, A Novel of Shared Vision. Centerpoint Pub 2008. ISBN 9781602852488. If You Ask Me. Penguin. 2011. ISBN 9781101514467. Betty and Friends, My Life at the Zoo. Penguin. 2011. ISBN 9781101558928.